Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new market update. And today we're going to discuss ZILLIQA and Chainlink. And the reason why I'm going to discuss ZILLIQA is because I've received some replies with the fact that ZILLIQA is not moving at all. So I thought, well, why not discuss it once, in which we still know that many altcoins are ready to make a big breakout, and ZILLIQA is one of them. So I'm going to discuss that one today, and my approach on that, and my perspectives on ZILLIQA, but also on Chainlink, as Chainlink just made a very big breakout yesterday. And as you might remember, a week or two ago, I've made an update with the three categories that I'm looking at for interesting perspectives, and I'm going to make an update on that on Sunday. But oracles is one of them, and Chainlink is currently breaking out, through which probably the rest of the oracles are doing well as well. Dino coins are doing well, and the only one still eager to follow is Atom. But I'm going to make an update on that on Sunday, and let's get to the charts, in which we're going to discuss ZILLIQA and Chainlink today. But also do not forget to subscribe beneath, and also like this update. And comment if you want to see some special new content, as tonight at 19:30 Central European Time, I'm going to live stream again, and then we're going to discuss your requests, but also what's happening in the markets at this stage. So do not forget to tune in. So let's get to the charts, in which we can discuss ZILLIQA. ZILLIQA in itself is just heating up in a bull cycle, and I'm still comparing those charts a lot with Aave, and Aave is one of those charts that made a breakout last year already and started to print new all-time highs in that year, while many of the altcoins are barely breaking out of their bear market and are just heating up. So probably most of the altcoins are currently following suit, and therefore are still ready to make their big impulse waves, and we have seen that happening in the markets right now with Doge, for instance, which probably will lead to XRP and XLM doing well too. So what do we see on ZILLIQA? We did see that during 2020 we had a massive breakout, and since that big breakout we also knew that we would have some sideways action. I've been covering it throughout this period, and since then it's been hovering and jumping around a little. However, what ZILLIQA is showing us is that it's making higher highs and higher lows, so the trend in itself is just upwards. It also shows us that the Bitcoin pair is grinding up, which means that the ZILLIQA is most likely going to outperform Bitcoin in the coming period, as Bitcoin is going to remain stable. And that specific topic I'm going to address on Saturday, in which I'm going to describe a more educational video, in which we are going to discuss the Bitcoin pairs and the importance of those. So, given that we are making higher lows and higher highs, you also know that there are critical levels that we should be holding on to. And in this structure that we had previously, we knew that the level to hold is the previous high, but as a matter of fact, the recent low is literally where we should be granting ourselves support. And as we can see, the price action is also above the 100-day and 200-day MAs, which is bullish in itself. But closed above the previous resistance, flipped that for support, wick down towards the critical level of support, and now we're just acting sideways, in which usually what you get is that you're making higher highs, higher lows, which starts to make a parabolic version at some point in time. And given that that's happening, and given that we are making those higher highs and higher lows, it's very reasonable to assume that we're going to have a big breakout within the next few weeks for ZILLIQA. And defining target points then are 500 sats, but also you've got one at 800. It's pretty difficult to do that, but it's also showing us that altcoins in itself have big perspectives to continue grinding. So for instance, ZILLIQA is currently testing this previous support level from 2018 and 2019. If that breaks, it's very likely that we're going to run further towards the next level. That's this entire structure that we're breaking through. So if it breaks above this level we have here around 400 sats on the left, it's assuming that we can break further towards 660 and possibly even 780 sats, this entire range, as we've got a wick here too. which is already a 2x. And when it breaks through that level, you can immediately start running towards 1100 sats, and then you have those large gaps. That's what you also see on other altcoins like Icon, OneChain. All those altcoins have pretty big gaps in the chart, which means that on the downwards momentum it falls heavily, but on the upwards momentum it also starts to run significantly. So if ZILLIQA makes that breaker above 400 sats, it will be very likely running at least a 2x, I assume. And then you get the question of how to value the USDT pair. I'll just swap towards the US dollar chart, which is currently facing the all-time high. Well, this is a topic that I'll be addressing on Saturday, but the USD pair is pretty much only usable to define support resistance structures and also to see whether it's still continuing its bullish momentum. Because this entire chart in 2017 will most likely look like this in a year from now. That's because we are facing a new bull cycle, which means that the previous cycle is going to be like this. That doesn't mean it has to be on the Bitcoin pairs, but on the US dollar pair, all those prices or values will be going towards levels we've not seen before. Otherwise, it's not called a new cycle. So that we are currently getting into this stage with the US dollar pairs is pretty much standard. I mean, that's fine. But what you can see as well is that if you compare the USD chart, right, and you compare it to the structure that we just had in the Bitcoin pair, you can see that the USD chart also has an accumulation period, run up, accumulation, starts to run further. So if you go back towards ZILLIQA Bitcoin, accumulation, run up, accumulation most likely starts to expand heavily. So that's what I'm expecting on ZILLIQA. When we discuss Chainlink, I've been covering this one a lot as well, and this time I'll just be using a clean chart as that's the better approach right now. What do we see? Well, we do see that we've got a retest here. We do see that we've got a breaker. We got a support resistance flip. We got another breaker after breaking above the 100-day and 200-day MAs, which is currently going to make that cross again. And you can see the past cycle, we had the cross as well, and it's starting a new bull cycle. Are we going to take out the all-time high on Chainlink? Most likely. Are we going to reach $100 or higher, 200 maybe? I think so, we will. For that to start continuing running, you want to see this previous level of resistance sustain as support. So this entire block that we have here, that's literally the area that you want to see sustain as support. If that happens, we also remain above the 100-day MA and 200-day MA. And if we do that, continuation is very likely to happen on this one. So what are the resistances to look at? Well, we still have this resistance at 100k sat, and we've got one at 120. Those are resistances. You can see that we pretty much rejected here already. Usually when we start breaking out, you see an overshoot and a wick because people get liquidated and then it starts consolidating. Well, pretty much that's what we're seeing right now. Would not be surprised if we get any of those sideways active periods before we start to continue moving on Chainlink. But overall, a new bull cycle has started on Chainlink, and you still have to look at the Bitcoin pair to define where you should be entering and where you should be selling, as in the end, you want to make profits through the Bitcoin pair. Can Chainlink and ZILLIQA go 5x, 3 to 5x from here? I think they can, and that's pretty much because of the Bitcoin pairs just literally heating up. So I hope you have enjoyed this update. Tonight we're going to have a new live stream. I hope you tune in as well. Don't forget to subscribe and like this update and comment if you want to see some special content. And also, do not forget to check out the Instagram post that's in the description, as yesterday I've done some cool stuff in the eastern part of the Netherlands, where I've been doing a presentation for the first time in a while. So, stay tuned and always enjoy life. Bye bye.